What's up, Home Slices? It's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and I'm coming to you from the car today. I only have a little bit of time to do this review because I have a class in like 20 minutes, so let's get started. Okay, so we start out with the storyline of Fizz trying to get the group back together. He gets Bobby Brown's advice because we know Bobby Brown was like the breakout star from New Edition, but nobody wants to see Bobby on stage by himself anymore, so he got back with New Edition. And so inspired by that, Fizz is like, I want to do that. And Bobby's like, touring is where the money is at. Get your boys back together. You initiate it. You go do that, and you all get back on tour. And I would totally and definitely and 100% buy a ticket because I never got to see them when I was a teenager. I don't know if I would go see them if there was any lineup changes. Which we find out there might be. But yeah, you know, just to get back a piece of my childhood that I never had. Anyways, staying on that same storyline, we see Fizz and J-Boog, which was, you know, what I've been waiting for this episode. And for those of us who have been wondering how J-Boog is feeding all of his children and his girlfriend, he throws out there that he is the vice president of some film company, which is super cool because we know a lot of people who have their, you know, meteoric rise to stardom, and then they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't have the appropriate skills to do anything outside of the entertainment industry, and they struggle for the rest of their lives. So J-Boog is out here providing for his family, so good on him. Anyways, Boog is like, you know, I don't want to do anything to compromise my current job as VP in this film company. So my, you know, off the cuff answer is no. But Fizz kind of talks him out of that, and he's like, well, I can't say no, and I can't say yes. But we learn from Fizz that he's already spoken to Raz B about getting everybody back together. And so Raz B must have told him, heck no, because Fizz's next sentence was like, are you okay moving on without him? And Boog is like, yeah. And it's like, I don't blame Raz B for saying heck no. He got the worst parts of being in B2K. I mean, not only was he probably like the least favorite among their fans, but and he didn't get to sing a lot and all that kind of thing, but also the issue with him being molested by their producer. Yeah, I feel sorry for Raz B, but I do not blame him for saying heck no, I ain't getting back with B2K, never ever ever. So, but they were real okay with going without him, which I'm okay with too. But anyways, Boog is like, what do you have in your arsenal to take to Omarion to convince him to come, you know, on tour with us and get the group back together? And he's like, the money. And Boog is like, okay, he might go for that. So, I mean, what is Omarion doing these days? The man ain't had a hit in a minute. And, you know, if getting back with B2K puts you on people's radars again, you can parlay that into doing your solo thing again. I mean, come on, Omarion. I feel like he's at the point where he feels like he's above B2K. And Omarion, you will never be above B2K. Just letting you know that, okay? But yeah. Moving on. Yeah, that's it for that storyline. So next, we're going to talk about Alexis. Apparently, they're at her. She is releasing a line of sunglasses. The sunglasses actually had an interesting look to them. They aren't the typical sunglasses. They had different shapes and colors and things like that. So I'm not too mad at it. But anyways, they have a party for the release and launch of everything. And so it's a pool party, you know, because the sunglasses. And everybody is there. And Zell is happy to work with Bridget, who has a Grammy. I was not aware. I actually had to look it up. But she won like a songwriter thing for, apparently she wrote Einstein for Kelly Clarkson, and I can't even think of how the song goes. Anyways, but she does have a Grammy, and I will not take that away from her. So Hazel E is about to confront Booby, who's wearing house shoes to a pool party, and he tried to play her in front of Brooke. So Hazel's mad about that. And Hazel is like, you know, you trying to act like we didn't sleep together, we ain't have nothing. And Booby is 100% denying that he ever slept with her and that he has no reason to lie about that. And basically, he wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. And so Hazel is getting played by this dude who speaks like 2 words a minute, and it's not a good look on her, and I wish she wouldn't appear so thirsty. There's a part of me that wants to believe Hazel, but the girl is so delusional about her music career and how she runs LA that it's really hard to believe anything that she says about herself. So anyways, she was saying that, you know, she has receipts and text messages about him being broke and asking her for money. I would love to see those receipts, just, you know, just for my own edification. But anyways, she goes to her default thing of throwing things. She tries to throw a drink on him, and they get separated or whatever. And then we see Lyrica's boobs seeping out of her bathing suits, like cookie dough. And Boobie and Bridget are flirting. Not here for it. And later on we see where that leads, but I'm not here for it. Because at this point, Boobie is still trying to take Brooke to Catalina. So he's flirting with Bridget while he's trying to get his thing on with Brooke. And people have their different policies on what's flirting, what's not flirting, if it's okay to flirt if you're in a relationship. But for me, it's not okay to flirt if you're in a relationship. I'll tell you that. Anyways, so moving on, Lyrica asked about how Hazel's music is going, and she's like, yeah, I just released a song, and also there was a song that I did with Ray J, and it came out really good. I need to follow up with him. And so Lyrica is like, well, I wanted to tell you that the whole reason that he did that song with you is because he lost a bet about his sperm count. And Hazel was really not here for it. Lyrica managed to absolve A1 of any of that guilt. So basically, the way Lyrica framed it and the way Hazel's mind framed it, Safaree and Ray J were both responsible for dissing her rapping skills, even though A1, I felt like, dissed Hazel's rapping skills as well. But you know, because it came from Lyrica, I guess A1 got a pass. So I had to actually go back through my DVR and see whose idea it was, and it was Ray J's. So, I really don't think that she should be as upset at Safaree as she is, but whatever. Moving on, Hazel makes it her mission to mess with those two. And yeah. And so we'll just move on from there. I'm trying to keep the storyline straight, but my notes are in order of how the episode went, so we're just gonna do that from here on out. Okay, so we see Bridget and James at the gym, and here's a brief summary. James isn't really over her infidelity, but the problem is that she moved out to LA for him. And so he's like, you know, should I have to be ready when you're ready? And she's like, I moved out here so we can start over. And here's the thing, if somebody cheated on you and you get back with them, throwing it in their face is only going to hurt the relationship. So if you really forgive somebody, you have to let it go. You don't forget it, but you have to let it go to the point where you all can start to rebuild your relationship. And James just isn't there yet, and it's not fair for him to hold her hostage and punish her for something that she did before when they're supposed to be trying to build their trust back together. So essentially, Bridget, you know, wants a clean slate, and he's not ready for that, and it seems like they break up. And James doesn't seem too affected by it. He maybe even seems a little relieved. So we go to the New Bay video release party, and the song is catchy. There are lots of people there. Ray put the event together, and it actually looks kind of nice. And Solo, Lucci, and Chanel are kind of sort of going out. So Safaree's cousin tries to push up on Chanel, but Chanel is in something with Lucci, and Safaree's cousin basically speaks another language and isn't that cute. But anyways, Lyrica and Alexis Sky show up at the check-in table. I don't know why there's a table there, but there was a bug on me. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like bugs. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, Lyrica and Alexis Sky show up, and Ray doesn't like Alexis Sky, and I thought they had kind of squashed their beef because Alexis had apologized to Ray. So I think Alexis was caught off guard that Ray was still upset with her and didn't like her and wasn't inviting her to the party and letting her in and all that kind of stuff. And so Alexis, they start a screaming match, and then I kind of gained some respect for Solo Lucci for, you know, checking Ray on being unprofessional. And then in that little speech and lecture that he's giving to Ray, he calls Chanel his newbie, and Alexis is like, whoa, you guys are dating? And it's like, Alexis, if you truly have moved on from somebody else, why are you concerned about who they're dating? And this is why Alexis Sky has such a vendetta against Masika. When you break up with somebody and when you're over somebody, you need to forget all of the stuff that they did to you and move on with your life. I mean, if you really have moved on from Solo Lucci and y'all's breakup was as amicable as you all made it seem on TV, then it shouldn't matter who he's dating. So, whatever. They have a screaming match. This was the first time that I really didn't like Lyrica. She kind of jumped on the Alexis bandwagon. I wasn't a fan of that. And, now, you know, Chanel and Alexis start arguing. Alexis is escorted out and then Lyrica follows. And it's like, you know, Lyrica is annoying me a little bit. She's getting involved in stuff that she doesn't need to be getting involved in. You know, previous times I have given her the benefit of the doubt, but something about her is annoying me now. Yeah. And so Lucci is flattered because he has women fighting over him. Whatever. Moving on, we see Keisha, her cousin, and Zell talking about all of the events that happened between Zell and Masika. Zell expresses interest in doing a diss track. Keisha's not here for it because Keisha doesn't feel like music is his thing, the same way she doesn't feel like music is Boobie's thing. But whatever. Keisha says that she's not ready to date. Zell tells them about the issue that happened between Hazel and Boobie, and Keisha is unaffected by it. And Keisha has just made it her mission to stay out of the mess. And I get that you want to stay out of the mess, but you could at least be interesting. You are the first face that we see when the Love and Hip Hop name comes across our television screens. And you are the most boring and, I'm not going to say basic because I respect her as an artist, but she's the most boring person on this show right now. And it's annoying me. Get her off of this show. Stop paying her all this money to be the peacemaker, okay? You can get cheaper people for that. So next we see Boobie and Brooke, and the way they edited together, it's like, it seemed as if Brooke was driving over to meet Boobie so they could go to Catalina. But it turns out Brooke turned him down at the last minute so that she can go to Marcus's mother's birthday party. Because, you know, we saw earlier in the season how Brooke was cool with Marcus's mother. But Boobie said, well, she canceled, so I have options, and he takes Bridget. And I'm like, didn't Bridget, like, yesterday was just in the gym kind of breaking things off with James? So I thought it was a breakup. But when she came in her confessional and she was saying, it seems like my relationship with James is in a tailspin and is about to be over. So her language told me that they're not really sure if they're broken up. But then later on she says that she's single. Did anybody else catch that, or am I just crazy? Anyways, I feel like the thing with Bridget and Boobie is not good. I feel like even though Bridget says she's single, and even though Boobie and Brooke technically have not taken their relationship to the next level, like beyond friends, something about it seems sneaky and wrong, and it's overly involved, and it's going from a love triangle to a quadrangle, and it's not good. Anyways, and I feel like it's making Bridget come off as kind of a floozy, and that she, you know, is the cleanup woman kind of, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, she says, well, you know, me and Boobie, you know, if I take Boobie off the table, then Marcus and Brooke can really work on their relationship. Don't do me no favors, okay? Anyways, that's the way I feel about it. And I don't know how this is going to impact how Marcus thinks about it, since he and Boobie don't really get along and Bridget is his friend, or how it's going to affect Brooke. I don't know. It's going to be one big piling heap of mess. And anyways, we see Marcus and Brooke at Marcus's mother's party, and Brooke wasn't happy about crying in the club, but Marcus was like, I felt good about the interaction, because he was able to get his feelings out there. And it's like, how is this man a Jedi? Because this Jedi mind trick thing is hilarious. Brooke shouldn't have been so childish as to try to make Marcus mad and all that kind of stuff. And while I agree on that part, he says that he didn't deserve her retaliation. But do you remember what you did? In addition to not being divorced, you cheated on me with the person who was handling your divorce. All Brooke did was try to make you jealous with the dude that you don't like, and they never even slept together. I don't know why he feels so justified in his actions and that Brooke should be ashamed of hers. So I'm not with that. Jedi mind trick. Yet and still, I do like Brooke better with Marcus than Booby. So, okay. And, you know, Brooke really shouldn't fall for it, but whatever. Brooke admits to being confused, but that, you know, she did choose Marcus over Booby and choosing not to go to Catalina. They're trying to mend their relationship. He invites her to his party, not as a date, but, you know, just his friends or whatever. And it's clear that since he wants her to break off all of her ties with Booby, that it was his pride that was hurt more so than anything else. And so we see Booby and Bridget, and you know, I'm not very comfortable with this whole situation, but you know, it ain't me. Bridget moved on real quick. And, you know, like I said, Bridget says her relationship looks like it's over, but then she calls herself single. I don't know where she really stands on everything. So, anyway, she's vulnerable and she's crying about the breakup. And, you know, Booby is a little butthurt that Brooke turned him down. And it's not the very good start of a relationship for both of y'all to be in a vulnerable position and then fall into each other's arms. It's not a good idea. Anyways, they kiss, whatever. And so Safari and his cousin have a boring conversation about Safari moving back to New York, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. But if he does move to New York, I can see him being on Love and Hip Hop New York, whatever. Moving on, we see Zell and Alexis. They get together to do a diss track about Masika and Mr. Ray, and it sounds horrible, and Alexis is bad at rapping. And Zell admits that she's bad at rapping. So, but at least they're having fun, right? That's what matters. So next we see Safari, Chanel, and Fizz are playing cards at a club. I didn't know you could do that, but Fizz couldn't attend the party because he was on daddy duty, and he's on daddy duty because, oh girl, it broke up with AD and he don't want his son around. That situation is toxic, whatever. Moving on, they talk about getting B2K back together. Chanel's excited about it, but Omarion is not responding to Fizz, and I feel like that's real messed up. They're supposed to be brothers and whatnot. But anyways, he has to go through Omarion's baby mama April to see what she thinks about what he thinks about getting back in the group. And so Chanel is like, well, just replace him with Orion, which is real funny because Orion does look like him. And Orion can sing. So I would go if Orion went as Omarion. I would still go to the concert, whatever. So Hazel shows up in her Spanx bodysuit and with a bag of dicks. I mean, a bag of tricks. And Hazel feels disrespected, and like, you know, she was supposed to be cool with Safari, and so she throws this bag of dildos on the table or whatever. And I died when Safari asked if that was a mold of her nose. Oh, whatever. Moving on. So now we see Booby and Brooke, and Brooke has decided to break the news to Booby that she has to cut him off, basically. So Booby said he was a little hurt that Brooke didn't come, you know, to Catalina, but since he has a replacement, you know, Bridget, he's not that hurt. Anyways, they said they missed each other. Brooke wasn't ready for them to go to the next level because it would have started something new when she still has feelings for Marcus. She has to cut Booby off. Booby respects her decision even though he doesn't understand it. They hug and they do their last kiss, and then that kiss turns into another kiss, and it's like, okay, that's not good. That's not good. Anyways, next time on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Alexis gets served with some papers, and, you know, Moniece is more than happy to serve her with those papers. Brooke is not happy about her song being given to Bridget, and she feels like Bridget stole it when Marcus gave it away. Whatever. Bridget brings up being in Catalina with Booby, and, you know, love triangle turns into love quadrangle, and B2K is still trying to get back together, but Omarion is not feeling it, and then Fizz tries to bring Ray J into it, and then now I'm not feeling it. Lyrica doesn't know where her dad is, and Hazel and Masika actually, you know, get to the point where they can make contact. Somebody hits somebody or pulls somebody's hair. Oh my goodness. So thank you guys for watching. I am about to be late for class. Peace out, home slices.